The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Barbie opened at the box office and it was, surprise, a huge hit. I think that largely is a surprise to most people. I don't think it's a major surprise. I mean, this is an area where if you just kind of paid attention to the amount of marketing and money and other things you're pumping into this, if you've been to a shopping mall and you just walk around and you realize like how many of the shops are in on the Barbie promotion and pushing it heavily, then you had a sense that this was going to land. The part about Barbie that makes it commercially, I think, very easy to kind of market and promote is that it's, there's no real baggage around it. I know some of you'll disagree, but I mean, it's a toy. It's a classic toy. The movie billed itself as being kind of a campy, cynical look at toys and kind of feminism and other things. I mean, that's what the trailers promoted. We'll get more to that in a minute. And it's just, it's heavy enough to not be a complete kind of airhead film and light enough to be kind of mass market accessible. Hey, if you don't really want to go in all on the dangers of consumerism and other things, you can kind of close your eyes for a while and Margot Robbie will make like a, gee, I'm a fun girl kind of joke. And then, it will work. I say this having not seen the movie. By the way, I just, this isn't a review of Barbie because I won't be able to give a review because I don't plan to go see Barbie. And I'm not like boycotting it. I'm not not watching it. It's just, that is not a movie for me. Very clearly not a movie for me. And I guess several of you wrote in, it's like, well, what do you think about this Barbie thing? What do you think about the controversy? How do you feel about them destroying another icon of... The one that got me was the mail that said, how do you feel about Hollywood destroying another traditional white male icon in the name of feminism? And when I read that, I'm like, white male? And this is where I'm legitimately asking, this isn't me being sarcastic, this isn't me trying to clown on anybody, I'm legitimately asking. My experience as a kid, going to the toy stores at the time, there's Toys R Us, certainly there's also a place called Lionel's Playworld. And if you grew up mostly in the West, you had Lionel's Playworld, which was like, it was Toys R Us. It was a giant ass toy store. And it was amazing. Like you'd go in there and there was an aisle with nothing but G.I. Joe on there. Just box on box on box of G.I. Joe toys. On the other side of the aisle, Transformers. You could go into the middle of the aisle and you could slowly revolve in a 360 circle and just be in boy heaven. Because, the toys were everywhere. And it was amazing. And you had like the Star Wars aisle, and you had like the weird toys that are kind of too young for you aisle, where they're like, cars that you can ride around in for younger kids. And then you get like some models and other things. And then invariably, as you walked further down, the store aisles, you'd get to the glistening pink girl aisle. I know gender identity. You get to the glistening pink girl aisle of Barbie. And if you were a boy growing up in the 70s, you didn't go down that aisle because it held absolutely nothing for you. Nothing. There was nothing in that aisle that you wanted. And I remember as a kid kind of wondering to myself on more occasions, like, why are the Barbies so fucking big? Like the G.I. Joe toys are the perfect size. He-Man goes a little bit more muscular, a little bit more bulky. But why, like these giant toys, like the toys are stupid. And when cousin would come over and bring her Barbies there, it's like, I remember looking at those with such disdain. Because it's like, it's a bigger, dumber version of Star Wars toys. They do not have any kind of articulation. Knees don't bend. Where's that little rubber band that's like holding the G.I. Joe guy together? Why have they not seen this? Are the people at, this company too stupid to realize how toys should be made? I mean, these toys are even bigger. The articulation should have been easier. These toys are dumb. But regardless, I wouldn't have been caught dead in that aisle. One, it didn't hold any interest to me. But two, if any of my friends would have come around, and many times, this is what, kids would do. They'd go to the toy store and they'd just stare in awe up at, the USS flag. I remember I got the flag. It's this giant aircraft carrier toy for Christmas one year. And I was like, wow, I'm so happy with my parents. It was amazing. The flag was kind of the envy of G.I. Joe toys because it was gigantic. You could sleep on it. You could assemble it all together. It was big. You could lay on it. It was a legit aircraft carrier you could land planes on. It was badass, this thing. You quickly realized it was also a stupid toy because you couldn't move it around. You basically assembled it. It sat there. You could play on it. And then he realized that like the Cobra, God, what was the name of that? The Battle Dome was a way cooler toy. You could pick it up, move it around. It had like, hatches you could open up and a thing in the middle you could shoot a plane out of. I mean, that was a cool toy. The flag was stupid as a toy, but all the same, it would be. So you go to the toy store, you'd stare at these big toys you desperately wanted, and then you run into your friends. A lot of the guys I hung around with would show up at the toy store. They'd all like stare up at the toys. And if the guys had come over to the toy store and, old Perch is over there in the Barbie aisle kind of checking out the toys, that would have been the end. That would have been absolutely aggressively the end. And now you can make all the comments you want about toxic masculinity, and this is gender identity wrapped up in toys. It's a real shame that a boy who was interested in Barbies couldn't just hang out in the aisle there. But one, I had no interest. Two, I knew I'd get the shit beat out of me if I was caught dead in that aisle. Okay? But again, so this is the weird part, because right now, it's 2023, and I'm watching these grown men, my age, sometimes older, going, why did they take Barbie away from us? They never took Barbie away from you. Ever. You never had it. You didn't want it. I'm seriously, you didn't want it. I've got 2 daughters. My younger daughter loves Barbie. Even my younger daughter, at the age of 7, I remember us going to Target, and she wants to hang out in the, she'd evolved from the baby doll aisle to the Barbie doll aisle. I remember her turning to me one day and go, Dad, you can go hang out in the Legos. I know this aisle. I know you don't want to be in this aisle. Like at 7, she knows this isn't for me. My older daughter never, she had some, I remember she really liked the Disney dolls, like when she was very young, but rapidly grew out of it. Legos were way cooler. And she was all in on that stuff. So anyway, my point is with Barbie, because now, unfortunately, and I made this prediction to someone, to a friend, we were talking back and forth in text, and I go, this entire movie is insufferable because on one hand, you've got a bunch of grown adult ass men going, this thing is destroying my childhood. Bitch, it is not. Okay, unless there's something you want to tell everybody, it is not. And then on the other side, you have people like, I guess woke means rich. Go woke, get rich. I'm like, I guarantee you, some asshole is going to start, posting the go woke, get rich stuff to clown on these men. It's just going to stir everything up. And I shit you not, like hours later, my friend comes back to me in text like, didn't you just predict this 2 hours ago? Here's Heidi McDonald, like, just go woke equals get rich. I'm like, oh my God. Look, Barbie, as much as you've been told everywhere else on YouTube and everything else, it is far less a product of the culture war and far more a very cynical marketing-based movie where they take a top brand, Barbie, they wrap some sarcasm in it, a lot, and then they roll it all out. And you're seeing all these articles. These are people leaping at nothing, going, this was always meant to be a real F you to conservative bloggers. And I have no doubt about it. I mean, look, I have no doubt about it, that the filmmaker sat around like, how can we tweak Ben Shapiro at some point during this movie? I for sure the writers did this. The question though is, why does a Ben Shapiro fall for it when this movie has nothing to do with anything he should be remotely interested in? Now, you can make your arguments, this is normalizing a lot of others, and this is teaching a new generation. Sure, I guess you could go down that path. But that leads me to kind of the second point, which is the people who were shocked. Like, I went to this movie, and I was shocked that the movie turned out this way. This was deceptive marketing. How? How in the world, and I mean this question seriously, how in the world did anybody watch the trailer for Barbie and not think they were going to do exactly what they did? Exactly. Will Ferrell shows up going, we've got to get this Barbie. He's clearly an asshole. Clearly. Ken is clearly an idiot. I saw people in the going, well, this movie built it up that, Ken was going to be a strong, supportive white male, and turned out they treated him like a joke. No shit. Again, how did you watch the trailers and not see this? Seriously. Everything about it. Amy Schumer was the first choice at one point for casting Barbie. How how in the world did this? I don't get how anyone was fooled by this or expressing they were confused by what's going on. That is baffling to me. Kate McKinnon is in this movie having a conversation with Barbie, and like, okay, first of all, if Kate McKinnon is in a movie, period, it's gonna have the kind of content and humor and feminist overtones that are in every movie she's in, 100% of them. So I don't get how anyone was confused by this film. And when you and by the way, if you want to say, well, I wasn't confused, good, you're smart. I'm not talking about you. Not talking about you. Okay, but there are several people, including Shapiro, including some very big kind of right-wing bloggers who are like, I was duped. Okay, you're an idiot then. I'm sorry. You're a complete and utter moron if you were duped by this movie. Every single trailer told you exactly what the movie was going to be. But beyond even that, like, look, here's what I would like. Okay, speaking for just me, I would like for a X-Men Wolverine movie to be like X-Men Wolverine, meaning the spirit of that comic. I would like a Secret Wars movie like the 1984 Secret Wars. Okay, same tone, same vibe. I would like that. And I know many of you would too, because you post things like, hey, we just want the content to be true to what it was supposed to be. And I agree. That would be nice. I don't really want to go see these properties that I've loved for my life be subverted. I don't want subversion of expectations. I just want, a film that reflects the property that I've been collecting, reading, all the rest for the past 40 years. You could say, well, this guy's an asshole who doesn't want to change. Okay, fair. I'll take that. I'll take that criticism. That's me. If I'm going into a movie about Super Mario Brothers, I'd like it to reflect Super Mario Brothers. I don't want it to be a commentary on China's occupation of Thailand. Taiwan. Thailand's later. That's stage 3. Oh, I got demonetized in China just now. Okay, cool. Like anybody from China's listening to this show. Anyway, that's all I want. And I suspect that's a lot of what you want too. So if I'm playing that logic out, Barbie is not for me. Barbie is exactly what I think it is. I mean, what did we expect Barbie to be? Barbie as a movie, well, not as a movie. I mean, Barbie for years has been a teacher, an astronaut, a veterinarian, a nuclear scientist. I mean, all this crazy shit. We didn't think that a Barbie movie would want to touch on the fact that she could do anything. It's literally baked into the brand. And I don't even pretend to remotely know. Like, there's all these other articles like Barbie helps, carry forward the legacy of all these other supporting characters that have been part of the Barbie cast but have been overlooked by the patriarchy. It's like, there's more than just Barbie. My daughter collects Barbie, and as far as I know, there's Barbie, Ken, and the little girl version, Barbie Jr. I don't know, the daughter. Are there more? My wife and I go in and laugh, because we were there once, and my daughter's looking at the Barbies, and they've got a fat Barbie and a disabled Barbie. I'm like, what the fuck's all this? I mean, okay, but again, none of this is for me. So all I want is some level of agreement to say, hey, just make the movies like they're supposed to be. And by the way, no, if you're thinking that Barbie is a sign that woke equals rich, no, Barbie is an example of it. People are going to hate to hear it. Capitalism. Barbie is an example of aggressive capitalism plus marketing equals cash, because money. That's what this movie is. It was a baked view of how to make massive amounts of money. And I've heard some people say, well, they trick people into the theaters, so it's that the sequel will bomb. Yeah, except the box office numbers as we're going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's not how it works. We saw a massive first week drop in The Flash. I think it wound up being the highest superhero second week drop off of all superhero movies, including Catwoman. Barbie is not having that problem. Barbie is holding on to the audience. People are still going to see it. So whatever it's doing, And again, I have no interest in watching this movie. Whatever it is doing, it is appealing to a mass market that wants to see a Barbie movie. And more power to them, I say. Put your energy and your focus into getting some good goddamn movies for, brands you actually care about, is my opinion. Now, again, many of you can tell me in the comments why it doesn't work that way and this is bad. Again, fine. All I know is, as a kid, I would have been caught dead on the Barbie aisle. So this is not a hill I plan on dying on. And to use my daughter's expression, the fact that some of you are is very sus. Thanks for listening.